Ask any truck driver where he sleeps best, and the answer probably catches you off guard. Not a hotel, not even his own bed at home. It's the cab. That's not nostalgia talking, it's backed by numbers. And once you hear why, you'll understand what's really happening inside those cabins every single night. It even answers why some of them never want to go home. Good sleep needs 4 things: darkness, consistent temperature, minimal noise, and a routine your body can predict. A hotel room fails at nearly all of them, and even a home has its weaknesses. A sleeper cab, however, never seems to fail. But this theory is only half the story, and the other half starts with a number most people would never expect. Modern sleeper cabs aren't an afterthought bolted onto the back of a cab. They're engineered the way aircraft interiors are engineered, with sound in mind before comfort ever enters the conversation. Multi-layer sound-dampening panels are built directly into the walls, absorbing road noise, wind, and the hum of other engines idling nearby. Insulated glass keeps outside temperature from bleeding through the windows. Independent climate control means the driver sets one temperature and it holds there all night, without the engine running and without a single degree of drift, whether it's -20 outside or over 100. Some systems can hold that temperature for 8, sometimes 10 hours on a single battery charge, long enough to get through a full night without ever touching the thermostat again. None of this happens by accident. Manufacturers know that a well-rested driver is a safer driver, and a safer driver is a driver worth keeping. So the sleeping compartment gets the same obsessive engineering attention as the transmission or the brakes. Most people picture a thin mattress and a curtain. The reality on a modern long-haul truck is closer to a soundproofed hotel room that happens to be doing 70 miles an hour a few hours earlier. Mattress manufacturers who build specifically for the trucking industry even test their foam against the exact vibration frequency of a diesel engine at idle, because a mattress that feels perfect in a showroom can feel completely different after 8 hours of low-frequency rumble underneath it. Some manufacturers go a step further and test the same mattress against road vibration at highway speed, because a truck doesn't just sit still all night. It gets parked, driven, parked again, and the foam has to hold its shape through all of it without breaking down the way a normal mattress would in half the time. Here's something else almost nobody considers, and it might be the biggest factor of all: routine. A driver who's been on the road for years follows the same sequence every single night, in almost the exact same order. Park, shut down, curtain closed, temperature set. Same pillow, same blanket, same 15 minutes scrolling a phone before the eyes close. That repetition does something a hotel room never can. There's no stranger's footsteps in a hallway at 1 o'clock in the morning. No unfamiliar layout to navigate in the dark. No wondering where the bathroom is at 3 a.m. Sleep researchers actually have a term for this: sleep environment consistency. One of the strongest predictors of sleep quality there is. A driver doesn't need to know the term to feel it. He just knows the cab feels right the second that curtain closes, because nothing about it is new. It's the same reason people sleep better in their own bed than in a 5-star hotel room, except a driver's own bed happens to travel with him. Psychologists call this a sleep anchor. Something so familiar it signals to the brain that it's time to shut down. For most people, that anchor is a bedroom. For a driver, it's a 20-foot metal box parked outside a Flying J. And that anchor doesn't just help him fall asleep faster, it changes how deep that sleep actually goes. A body that recognizes its surroundings spends less energy staying alert to them, which means more time in the deeper stages of sleep, where actual physical recovery happens. Some drivers who track their own sleep with a cheap wrist monitor say they fall asleep in under 10 minutes in the cab, less than half the time it takes them most nights at home, in a bed that never moves and never has to. But there's one part of this that seems to break every rule in the book. You'd think a lot full of idling diesel engines would be the worst possible place to fall asleep. And for new drivers, it usually is. But experienced drivers describe something almost the opposite. The constant steady hum of engines running nearby becomes background noise, the same way a fan or a white noise machine works for people at home. It's not silence that helps sleep, it's consistency of sound. And a truck stop at night delivers exactly that, hour after hour, without variation. Combine that with blackout curtains, sealing off every trace of light, and the sleeper compartment becomes something closer to a sensory deprivation chamber than a parking lot bunk. No streetlights bleeding through blinds, no hallway noise, no neighbor's television through the wall. Just steady sound, total darkness, and a bed that doesn't change. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but drivers who've done both will tell you the same thing without hesitation. A truck stop, once the curtain closes, is quieter than most hotel rooms they've ever paid for. New drivers usually need a few weeks before that clicks. Every engine sounds like it's about to stall. Every air brake sounds like something's wrong. But somewhere around the second or third week, the brain stops treating that noise as a threat and starts treating it as background. Veteran drivers sometimes say the opposite problem shows up later. Park them somewhere unusually quiet, and that's when they can't fall asleep. The silence feels wrong. The noise, somehow, had become the thing that told their body it was safe. Some drivers even admit they run a fan or a small space heater purely for the hum, long after the temperature is already exactly where they want it, because the sound has become as important as the heat ever was. And then there's the part almost nobody expects to hear about a truck cab. Driver surveys conducted across the industry consistently show the same result. A majority of long-haul drivers report sleeping better in their cab than in their own bed at home. Not marginally better, noticeably better. Fewer interruptions, faster time to fall asleep, fewer restless nights. Some of it comes down to the engineering, some of it comes down to routine, but a lot of it comes down to something simpler than either of those: control. In a hotel room, the driver is a guest. In the cab, he built the system himself, chose the mattress, adjusted the climate settings, hung the curtains exactly the way he wanted them. There's no front desk, no checkout time, no unfamiliar smell in the sheets. Just a space built entirely around one person's idea of a good night's sleep, refined night after night, until it stopped being a compromise and started being better than the alternative. And there's a financial side to that control most people never think about either. A driver who sleeps badly drives worse the next day, and a driver who drives worse burns more fuel, brakes harder, and takes longer on every run. Fleet data has shown that drivers who report good sleep consistently aug better fuel efficiency than drivers who don't, which means the cab isn't just where a driver rests, it's quietly part of how well the whole truck performs the next morning. So the next time you drive past a truck stop at midnight, rows of trailers parked in the dark, engines humming low and steady, understand what's actually happening behind those curtains. It's a driver who figured out, one night at a time, exactly what he needed to sleep well and built it into 40 square feet of steel. Most people spend their whole lives chasing a better mattress or a quieter bedroom without ever landing on the thing that actually works. Truck drivers just happen to find theirs first. It just came with a diesel engine attached.